You are listening to a Cumulus Media radio station. Cumulus Media is home to 400 radio stations in 85 markets. Westwood One, the largest audio network with premium news, sports and entertainment programming, including the NFL, NCAA, and the Masters, as well as the Cumulus podcast and streaming networks, reaching more than 250 million listeners monthly.
Attention taxpayers, the IRS is intensifying collections in 2025. If you owe $10,000 or more or have unfiled tax returns, it's time to take action. Tax Network USA's experienced lawyers have saved clients over $1 billion. They're ready to negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Don't risk wage garnishment, property seizure, or losing your home. Call 1-800-278-9000 today. Get the help you need at 1-800-278-9000 or visit tnusa.com.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Slow going traffic on westbound 66 between the Vienna Metro and 123 with the vehicle fire cleanup on the right shoulder. And more delays westbound between the Fairfax County Parkway and the car rest area. 95 still slowing southbound from Springfield towards Woodbridge and from Dale City towards Quantico. And delays continue in towards Fredericksburg. Earlier crash in Upper Marlboro on southbound 202 at Marlboro Pike now cleared away. There is an accident northbound on North Capitol Street at New York Avenue. Couple of street closures due to police activity now. Pennsylvania Avenue is closed between 14th Street and 15th Street, and S Street is closed westbound between 14th Street and 15th Street. Now from GarageRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
A developing icy mix that will overspread the area. So about 9-10 p.m. continue until about 9 to 10 a.m. Thursday with a chance of iciness. We'll have temperatures 35 to 40 degrees. 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson to the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now in Washington, 36 degrees. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
Broadcasting from the underground signpost. The bowels of a hidden bunker somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building. We've once again made contact with a leader of time. The day.
You guys remember that great song back in the day? All I do is win, win, win. Yeah, that is exactly the theme coming out of this White House. Welcome. It is the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one tonight. And we got just so much to talk about on the show, including like massive winning. Like you should be grinning right now at what Donald Trump is able to accomplish because he has the right people around him. I will say this over and over again. I truly believe it was a blessing that Donald Trump did not win re-election in 2020. He would not have been able to do any of these types of things he's doing now. And being able to walk away and then watch how the machine was working and the deep state was working and the weaponization against him and other conservatives was able to then shine a light on what actually had to change to drain the swamp. And the only way he would have figured this out, the only way any of us would have figured this out, is if he would have lost, because he lost in 2020. I want you to think about just Doge for a second and what has happened with this. That would have never been a thing in 2020. Elon Musk would not have been working on behalf of the American people right now for free. Donald Trump wouldn't have known all of these people to go after and all the corruption. Think about women's sports. Donald Trump today signing an order protecting women's sports. Incredible. And the president had a moment, and it just feels different at the White House. So we're going to start with the women's sports. This is something that Donald Trump has been talking about for quite some time, that he was going to protect women's sports. It was something that was important to him. He said it was something on the campaign trail that he was not going to back down on. I'll go back just to put it in perspective. This was in October the 16th of 2024. He was doing that town hall with Harris Faulkner at Fox News Channel. And he was talking about the question of women's sports. And this again is another payoff of the promise that he made to the American people.
How many of you are worried about biological men and boys competing against women and girls in sports? Just show me. That's almost that is the entire room. And I know you have a question.
I do.
By the way, excuse me, it's so crazy.
Your question, your name, and your home.
My name is Linda, and I'm from Milton, Georgia,
Good.
but originally Brooklyn, New York.
Oh,
Get that?
good.
My question is, how do you plan on addressing the transgender issue in women's sports? I have 9 grandchildren, 6 of them female, all playing sports, and we are very concerned for their safety, not just on the field and the courts, but in their locker rooms as well.
Right. It's such an easy question, and everybody in the room, and you know that answer. We're not going to let it happen. You look, just yesterday, they had a volleyball match. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Where a person that transitioned, okay? We have to be very careful because this can terminate your political career if you say it's slightly off, all right? But transitioned from man to female. I was on a volleyball, and I saw the slam. It was a slam. I never saw a ball hit so hard, hit the girl on the head. But other people, even in volleyball, they've been permanently, they've been really hurt badly, women playing men. But you don't have to do the volleyball. We stop it. We stop it. We absolutely stop it. You can't have it. It's a man playing in the game. Physically, from a muscular, even if it was a little bit less, maybe they do all sorts of tests and drugs and everything else. Look at what's happened in swimming. Look at the records that are being broken.
How do you stop it? Do you go to the sports leagues? Do you go to the Olympics?
You just ban it. The president bans it. You just don't let it happen.
The president bans it. You just don't let it happen. So you fast forward to now, present day, Donald Trump is sitting there, and he has come out and said that the American people are categorically rejecting the transgender lunacy of allowing men in women's sports and men in women's locker rooms. He had a backdrop behind him of women, grandmothers, mothers, and an incredible amount of children, and none of them were being sniffed like Joe Biden would do. And this is part of what the president said.
So just to finish up, I'm directing the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who, by the way, is doing a fantastic job. Like he just left Panama, we're trying to take back the Panama Canal, little things like that. It'll all happen. But Marco is going to make clear to the International Olympic Committees there, and he's going to make it as clear as anybody can make it, that America categorically rejects transgender lunacy. We want them to change everything having to do with the Olympics and having to do with this absolutely ridiculous subject that we even have to talk about this subject. If you went back 10 years or 15 years and you would move forward and listen to this, you'd say, what the hell are they talking about? This is impossible. But you have people out there, Democrats, that are still totally in favor. They can't win the argument. They can't win a debate. They look like fools, and they continue to go on. And it's okay, because as long as they do this and open borders and all of the other things they talk about, transgender, everything, all they want to do is transgender and men playing in women's sports and all of these crazy things. And if they continue, I think we're going to end up ultimately, it's not going to matter because we're never going to go along with them, and we're just going to keep winning elections, right, Mike?
I love the way he describes it. We're just going to keep winning elections, but we have to actually fight on these issues. Donald Trump also had something to say about the Olympics. The Olympics are coming. And Donald Trump said, hey, my administration, we've got something to say about the Olympics allowing men to beat the hell out of women, for example, in boxing. We witnessed it in the Olympics.
So when the Olympics comes to Los Angeles, I was responsible for getting the Olympics. And I said, oh, boy, this is terrible because I got the Olympics and I won't be president. And then what happened is that an election, strange things happened in that election. So I missed 4 years and now I have the Olympics. It was sort of circuitous. It was a circuitous situation. And we also have the World Cup coming, which is going to be fantastic. And we have, as you know, very importantly, 250 years coming. That's a big one next year. So that's a very big one. But in Los Angeles in 2028, my administration will not stand by and watch men beat and batter female athletes, and we're just not going to let it happen. And it's going to end, and it's ending right now, and nobody's going to be able to do a damn thing about it, because when I speak, we speak with authority.
It's just different this time. It's a focused president with a team around him. And that team around him has made it abundantly clear that they are there to not undermine him. They are there to serve the President of the United States of America. They are there to aid and support the President of the United States of America. Now, the left, of course, they're still wanting to die on this transgendered hill. There was a trans athlete, for example, that went on CNN as Donald Trump was going to sign this order banning trans athletes, which, let's just be honest with that, that's a dude, okay? That's a dude saying he's a chick. I can say I'm Superman, folks. It doesn't mean I actually am. Hell, I could go to the White House and say, I'm Donald Trump. I identify as Donald Trump. They're not going to let me in. You know what they're going to do? They're going to arrest me because you're crazy. And we used to treat this transgenderism and this idea as a mental health issue. And now we've, in essence, normalized it, or I should say the left has normalized it. There's nothing normal about it. I also have major compassion for people that deal with mental health issues. If you've ever known anybody that's dealt with mental health issues, whether it's bipolar or manic or anything else, like it's sad, because when you know them and then you see them go through these valleys, it's awful. I've had 2 friends that have committed suicide in my life, dear friends that dealt with mental health. I have a massive heart. I can't imagine being in a mind space where you truly believe that you're trapped in another, in the wrong body. I have compassion for that, but I'm not going to normalize it. And normalizing someone when they're dealing with mental health issues does not help them. It would not be compassionate to normalize someone that's in a bipolar episode, for example. You don't normalize abnormal behavior. You don't make it seem normal. And this trans athlete goes on TV and says, oh, there's no evidence that trans athletes have an advantage over anyone else's sport. And they put this crap up there on CNN with Breonna Keeler and whoever the hell the other guy is. This trans athlete. I want you to listen to how insane the media is, how insane the left is. Like, they gave this guy prime billing at CNN with Breonna Keeler's like, tell us about yourself. Well, I'm a dude. I guess thinks I'm a chick. Or I'm a chick thinks I'm a dude. I don't even know which one it is. It doesn't matter. Actually, I guess the chick thinks he's a dude. It's a guy named Chris Moser is the name up there. I don't know which way it's going, left, dude to chick, chick to dude. But the logic behind it, listen.
Thanks so much for being with us. I wonder what your reaction is to Trump signing this executive order. How do you weigh the impact that this would have on athletes?
We knew that this was coming. This was a campaign promise that the Republicans put a lot of money into in the lead up to the presidential election. It has been a pillar of their party for the last several years. So it's not a surprise that this is coming today. It's disappointing, though, that this is happening on National Women and Girls in Sports Day and taking away.
By the way, let's just pause there. Did you hear that? It's sad that it's happening on Women's in Sports Day. What world are you living in? Oh, wait, I know. You're dealing with a mental health issue. You are a person that is one sex that believes you're another sex. There's no better day, by the way, than to sign this on Women in Sports Day. Like, there's no better day than today to sign it. Because the whole point is to protect women's sports, not dudes acting like chicks in women's sports, not dudes acting like women in a women's locker room. The President of the United States, and this is the silent majority, has to wake up and be louder. And we're learning to do this, right? Like, we have to have the same focus as the crazies in the left who go out there and act like it's normal for every kid to be like, wonder if they're a man or a woman. That is not normal. That's an indoctrination. We have to be proud of our traditional values. And I think we're learning this and we're waking up to it as a nation, that, like, stop being afraid that you're going to offend somebody. You should be offended when someone tells you that you have to normalize this behavior. I want to get your phone calls, 1-877-381-3811. 1-877-381-3811. Ben Ferguson filling in for Mark Levin. You can send me your thoughts also on X at Ben Ferguson Show. Follow me during the break. Do you think the president's doing the right thing on this one? More coming up.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
This country was founded on freedom. Freedom from a country that forced us to buy overpriced tea, that tried blockading us when we dumped their tea into the ocean. How did that work out? Well, it's time to throw your overpriced big wireless contract overboard too, folks. You don't need to pay $100 per person every month just to get a free phone. Pure Talk, my cell phone company, says no to inflated prices. With a qualifying plan of just $45 a month, you can choose an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0. And yes, this is for the premium service. Unlimited talk, text, 25 gigs of data, and mobile hotspot at a fraction of the price of the big three. All on America's most dependable 5G network. So get your iPhone 14 or Samsung Galaxy for $0 before it runs out with a qualifying plan by dialing pound 250 and say the keyword Mark Levin. And Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you make the switch. Claim your new iPhone or Galaxy with qualifying purchase from Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
In Fairfax, there is still an accident on eastbound 50 at Lake Lane. 2 lanes are blocked and traffic is jammed from Fairfax Circle. In the district, watch out for an accident northbound on North Capitol Street at Key Street and on 6th Street at Florida Avenue in Northwest. A few street closures right now due to police activity, including Pennsylvania Avenue between 14th Street and 15th Street Northwest. 15th Street is closed between Constitution Avenue and H Street, and F Street is shut down between 14th Street and 15th Street. Watch out for a disabled vehicle now on Canal Road between Arizona Avenue and Chain Bridge that is causing delays. Now from GarageRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
A winter weather advisory in effect from late tonight through tomorrow morning. A wintry mix of freezing rain could make roads icy for your morning commute. Tomorrow, morning rain, afternoon clearing, highs in the lower 50s.
Attention taxpayers. The IRS is intensifying collections in 2025. If you owe $10,000 or more or have...
I'm going to buy some bro cream. Grease my hair right now and keep that fucker greased.
Lawyers have saved clients over $1 billion. They're ready to negotiate.
And put some beard softener in my beard. Starting to get long.
Losing your home. Call 1-800-278-9000 today. Get the help you need at 1-800-278-9000.
I almost shaved all this off.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing but another.
Grows fast.
Class in the dinner reservation with you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Beyond the Murano.
Yeah, I look fat, don't I, DA? I look like I'm fat. I got a fat neck.
Seats are available features.
Making sense of your world on the go. Stream your favorite shows. Get the day's top
What's the matter, Logical? Huh? Am I a pain in your fucking ass? Oh, log liquor, boy. Wah, wah, Billy, 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 Billy. So, I've known it all along. Log liquor's been working for fucking fucktard all this time. You, Wiggin.
How many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines.
Wiggins made deals with people like Lady Venom. He's still white knighting for JC. That's all he has is to attack me using my mother. Him and his little friends.
Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store and stay connected. Making sense of the media.
This video is attacking him because this is what happens when you're a Republican. Let's plan. Weekdays 9 to noon. Yeah, our news media. Billy.
Hey, Tiffany, let me know when you find that where she came up on my panel and cried because they were being mean to her in Vegas chat because she did that. I have a feeling those were sincere tears. Unless it's all a conspiracy and they're all in on it and you guys actually hate me, all of you.
Like texting and driving.
I can't believe that. It might be a few of you. Especially Gotti and Rusty. Like I give a fuck about you two. You logical. Yeah, Wiggin, you're a piece of shit, you motherfucker.
Same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here, ma'am. Our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Well, I turned 11 that December. Or 12. I turned 12 that year. So I was 11 when I watched that. Because it was on NBC Sports. NBC Wide World of Sports, the agony of defeat. That's Whippermantle crashing on that motherfucker. I'd like to see him run into a tree like Sonny Bono did. Whack! It'd be the end of you, you fucking whipper fucking. Yeah, go ahead and hate America. I know who you guys are.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Good. Then you are ready for football. With the Rich Eisen Show podcast.
Now, if Americans hate their own country, that's one thing. But when you foreigners do it,
Vince Colonnade Show, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
well, you know, Monica's husband, Donnie, he's a gamer. He's in with all those gamers. Tombstone Gamer, all of them. They sit there and they play their little video games.
Who are demanding that men acting like women can share a locker room.
See, Patty Cakes, logical. Wiggin just can't help himself.
1-877-381-3811.
So there you go.
Can't get through. You can send me a note on X.
All right, the news is back on.
Show on X.
I'm gonna sit here and smoke my joint. I just ate 3 tacos, homemade. There ain't no Taco Bell where I live. I have to make them.
That is on CNN and is saying it's just such a tragedy that Donald Trump, I'm going to back it up. Just listen to him. That he's announcing this on Women's Day. Like, there's no better day to do it. I can't believe I'm having to say this, but if you have a penis, you're a dude. Okay. If you don't have one, then you're not a dude. This should not be hard. I shouldn't have to spend.
It really doesn't matter who you are.
But the fact that we've got
you're not me, that's for sure.
In this country and around the world, to these
and I'm not the one crying. I don't make videos about people.
That we're having to have
I do this
like course correction, and thank the Lord Trump wanted to do it.
Go ahead.
But when you
make yourself look like a fool in my side chat. Go ahead.
Where we honor women, yeah, because we don't honor dudes with a penis on Women's Day.
It's disappointing, though, that this is happening on National Women and Girls in Sports Day and taking away from some of the actual real things that people can do to support women and girls in sports.
So when you hear people,
what else can you do that's more important than
cry? You're the one crying.
Sure,
you came here. I didn't invite you.
In the women's sports category, how many women's
it's not working
have been changed in NCAA sports?
There's nothing you can do to make me mad.
Who have taken away
it's all an act when I do it.
How many
I'm reserved.
Who train their entire
I make you mad.
From the age of
otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
To get into qualify for the Olympics, didn't make
other people know better. They can't come in here and be an idiot to me because they don't like getting wrenched out.
Made the team. We know what happened in the last Olympics. We witnessed it. We watched it. And then listen to this crap from Breonna Keeler. I mean, it's these people are insufferable. Listen.
People say this is how it should be. Trans athletes have a competitive advantage over non-trans athletes. What do you say to them?
There's no evidence that trans athletes have an advantage over anyone else.
Listen to this garbage.
But if that is true, okay, and I'm gonna.
Yeah, if it's female,
on the logical trail here,
trying to be a male. You might have a problem hitting a baseball.
Dudes to act like chicks to get in have to go through like hormone suppressing drugs.
Women are made to have babies.
They have to have their
That's why they exist, to procreate with us men.
But as of a chick. So if they are,
otherwise we'd be hermaphrodite. We could all fuck ourselves.
The WNBA. Why aren't women just playing sports with dudes in the NBA? I mean, why isn't that? Why are the women? Why are all these women in the WNBA not playing with the men? Let's go to golf. If there's no difference, as this trans athlete is stating on CNN, then why is it that the LPGA golfers aren't playing on the PGA Tour? I can tell you why. Go look at the driving distances between men and women. The averages on the tour. Look at the ball speed. The average on the tour. Go look at the driving distance in high school and college. Like my son is a very gifted golfer. I played tennis in college. I have 3 boys. I was hoping one of them would play tennis. None of them do. They play golf, and they're really good at it. But you play golf even at it's like 6, 7, and 8, where my kids are. There's a massive difference between a 6-year-old boy and a 6-year-old girl on the golf course. It's clear at 6. The boys hit the ball farther than the girls do. Every young boy knows this. Every young girl knows it. But these trans people on TV and seeing like, well, there's really no difference, is there? They're insane. Ben Ferguson, filling in for Mark. We'll be right back.
When I first learned about the basics of estate
Glad
planning,
I'm
it
not
was
stuck
really important
arguing
to
with
protect
some
the
other
documents. We all know about
streamer.
creating a will or building a trust, but what people don't know about are how documents can be
They're both
misconstrued if
probably
not properly done.
restreaming
You
each
don't want to
other
leave
and
your assets
trading
vulnerable
barbs.
to the government's
Who wants to
decision.
watch
That's
that
why I
garbage?
recommend trust and will.
CB thinks I want to see her fucking snatch. She's gonna show me something. Can't get past that face, CB. You asked me, hey, Billy, what do you think I look like? Am I pretty? No, you're homely. And you know it. That's why you act the way you do.
Credit card bill. This bill lets corporate mega stores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use
Another person whose life exists out here.
to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Guardyourcard.com, paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
WMAL Woodbridge, Washington. Cumulus Media Station. Sense of the news. News now.
WMAL News at 6:30. I'm Heather Curtis. President Trump's controversial proposal for the U.S. to take over Gaza will not necessarily involve U.S. troops, despite the president saying earlier this week that he would do whatever's necessary. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. The president has not committed to putting boots on the ground in Gaza. Proposal outraging many, including Congressman Al Green, who said today,
I will bring articles of impeachment.
Go away, Alvaro. Go back to JC's or wherever the fuck you hang out at. Go Shannon, whatever. Go fucking play, Alvaro. This place ain't for you, Alvaro. Not unless you change your attitude.
Near Reagan National have been identified. The Army
Seriously.
Corps of Engineers expects all major parts of the jet to be
Go clone Mary Bernie.
Will then transition to taking the helicopter out of the river. Up next, traffic and weather.
Tom Flash might be live. I'm not sure. I'm not going to check. I was in there yesterday. Yeah, JT, that was me as Monica in your chat, you dumb fucker. Gave me a wrench and then you took it. Oh, I'm not going to give it to you if it's not the real Monica. Oh, I don't want to have a wrench if it's not the real Monica. You're not very smart, JT. You're not. You need Rusty and others to do what you do.
Absolutely nothing.
The only help I really got is when Doug came here. And I have a secret over that.
Turn type 1 into type 9.
That I didn't want to stop him from coming up.
Back near here.
That video is still out there. You find that video, you should be able to find the one where Eraser Rain come up here and was all upset because they were fucking with her in Vegas. I guess she didn't like being called his sister. Got to her.
You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
While serving in Iraq.
Yeah, they made their debut here in this chat. Because I ended up going to Rainey's chat and then it turned into JT's chat. Oh, here we go. Here comes the fucking moron. Here comes Wiggins' chief cocksucker.
every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans.
Say goodnight. Bye, empty child. Go away. You're an idiot.
The heroes who lived to tell it. There are two kinds of people. They're winners and they're losers. Winners take whatever they feel. He's tough as nails. The dude got hit with a mortar. He says,
Moonlight's working.
finish it.
And there's empty child. I got these fuckers bent, dumbfounded, everything. It's not working, Wiggin. You can't recruit a big enough army. There ain't that many people in here that are willing to help you like that, Wiggin. Because time's gonna come, this chat will get filled up. Something's gonna happen. They're biting their tongue right now, and they're fucking itching at the bit. And there's empty child. I hid you, empty child. I can unhide you. Ain't nobody else have a wrench though. Ain't nobody can unhide you. This is a wrench-free chat. I'm the only one with a wrench. I don't want to be like them other streamers. I want to be different.
After promises were made by
And I like to be well informed.
Signing an executive order to ban men in women's sports, surrounded by a bunch of young athletes, young girls who he is protecting from.
Ben Ferguson he broadcasts, he's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There is a Philadelphia, New York. It's between here and Fort Drum, right on Route 11. Google it. We got Madrid, we got Potsdam, Messina. Messina is on the island of Crete.
Youth level to have fun. And every
By the way, what's fun? Transgender spokesperson of athletes.
Greek, Italian,
Brianna Keeler,
Roman, they're all the same fucking people.
Fun about watching
bunch of Latinos
destroy the dreams of women by taking over their sports. What's fun about that? What's fun about watching a woman, Riley Gaines, have her medal taken away from her and not be the number one swimmer in the NCAA? What's fun
empty
about
child with 3 subscribers.
watching a man beat the hell out of a woman in the Olympics in boxing?
How about you, Raging Demon?
Spiking a volleyball in the face of women to the point where they have life-changing injuries
Pathetic.
and are having to go to
Really
the hospital.
pathetic you guys are.
What's fun about a dude pinning a woman to the ground, claiming they're a chick in wrestling or any other sport? You want
My favorite sport, wrestling, with women.
You take the thousands
No holds barred.
Tour, stick on the women's tour, and they're going to be the richest man in women's golf history. It's just the truth. Solely because of the distance off the tee. You put an average.
Trying to think of the black lady's name who wrestled. She's a nice looking woman.
In the WNBA,
What the hell was her name? She's pretty athletic.
And if you're paying,
Had quite a shape to her. I don't know how much she weighed, but boy, she built like a fucking brick shit house. What the hell was her name?
Women's sports are protecting their sports from.
I know she was with one of the twins there.
Because they know
Think.
that the men.
It's been so long since I watched wrestling.
If everything is equal, as CNN is saying, there is literally no reason for women's sports anymore. There's no reason for men's sports.
She wrestled with Neidhart's daughter there, Natasha.
Good luck. And you know what would happen?
Or whatever her name was.
Would
She's fucking built like a brick shit house too.
If you just had NCAA volleyball,
Yeah, Jim, the Anvil Neidhart.
It's gonna be all dudes every time. Golf, all dudes. Tennis, all dudes. Basketball, all dudes. Football, obviously all dudes. Baseball, dudes. You're gonna be a bunch of softball players out there. You would have women's sports cease to exist.
Ric Flair was popular in Charleston, South Carolina. They had an arena and they held wrestling matches there. I met Big Ernie Ladd, a couple other people.
CNN are telling you that what I just said is somehow not true or real.
A young person deserves that opportunity to be their authentic self and to play the sports that they love without compromising any part of who they are.
I'm curious about that, Chris, because you say that there's no evidence that there's a competitive advantage, but we've heard from parents who've had a different experience. They've argued that there is.
Experience over there at CNN. Like, no, they've had the crap beat out of them. Even to the hospital on a stretcher, they've had life-altering injuries, including brain injuries, when men are competing with women in sports. A different perspective? That's how CNN describes women getting the crap kicked out of them. Look at the Olympics. There was a women boxer that stopped in the middle of the Olympics, a lifetime dream to be in the Olympics because she'd never had a punch like she got from a dude acting like a chick in the last Olympics that we just had. Is that a different perspective? Come on. Like to CNN, to Breonna Keeler and this other dude, like do better. Like Breonna Keeler, like you're a chick that was hired to be a chick on CNN. They didn't hire you to be a dude. There's a reason why, as they're doing this interview, they have a chick on the right and a dude on the left. They have a man and a woman hosting the news. They didn't have two women. They chose a man and a woman for diversity, right? Because they even agree that there's, and by the way, Breonna Keeler looks different than Breonna Keeler. They're both wearing suits, but there's a reason why Breonna Keeler isn't wearing a tie. And the reason why she's not wearing a tie is because she is a chick. And then yet they're sitting there having a serious conversation, trying to act as if there is no such thing as a man or woman, when clearly Breonna Keeler is a woman and the other guy hosting is a man.
Is irrefutable evidence, irrefutable differences in physiology between the sexes, that hormone therapies don't sufficiently level the playing field. Do you get where they're coming from?
We have to look at what we're talking about here. And if we're talking about youth sports is part of our educational system. And as part of our educational system, young people learn values such as discipline, hard work, leadership.
It's like trying to elicit an answer from NEM, JC's NEM.
We know that each body
this is how they talk.
Every person is different, and that even among
can't just directly answer the question.
Kids that are not transgender, there are differences in their strength, their speed, their
Sorry,
ability,
men are men and women are women.
Differences in their access.
Stop trying to change it,
to
Keith.
Equipment, to things
you look hidious, Keith.
Proper nutrition, all of the things that go in.
I make like I hate you or something or whatever. You get offended. I'm offended because you're trying to look like a woman. Fucking glasses and shit and fucking puckering up on camera and thinking you're Boy George singing. Wow.
I think we really missed the mark when we're focusing.
I'm hoping Mina's just trolling you. I hope when Mina looks at you, she thinks in the back of her head, what a dumb fucker this is. Look at him. Because you are a dumb fucker, Keith.
I cannot walk up to the White House and say,
do something.
And think they're gonna
Am I bullying you? If you feel bullied and he sits there and they still watch, they'll block you, but they still watch you.
Homeown and say, I identify as a billionaire, and they're then going to give me $100 million. I can't.
Terry B runs around. I don't block anybody. I don't block anybody.
As a homeless person, if I'm making money.
Yeah, you do.
It doesn't work that way. So why the hell are we saying
you
work
do
that way when it comes
and you
to
still watch it?
A man claiming he is a woman or a woman claiming he is a man.
You don't dare run your mouth right in front of me to your little friends, Terry B. You unblock me, Terry B. You can't because I'm better on the fucking typewriter than you are.
There's a reason why we have boys' bathrooms and girls' bathrooms. There's a reason why kids get in trouble at school.
Fuck you, Wiggin. Come on. I'll turn the radio show off if you want to come up, Wiggin. Come on. Come on up so I can grab you by the ankles and turn you upside down.
Like there's a difference. And to say that, well, everybody's just playing the same team, like when you're really young and you're playing sports and you don't know how to play.
It was fucking minus 14 degrees this morning.
Same team. I know. In fact, my kids have played soccer and it was a co-ed team. By the way, they call it a co-ed team because
co-ed.
Co-ed. It's not dudes or chicks soccer. Right? Like when you're learning, T-ball is another example. We had a co-ed team when they were 4 years old. Because at 4, there's not a lot of difference, right? They're 4-year-olds. You're trying to teach them the fundamentals. But once you start growing,
There is a huge difference between a 6-year-old girl and a 6-year-old boy, a 7-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy, an 8-year-old girl and an 8-year-old boy. And then when puberty hits, good Lord. There's a reason why, by the way, even our court system goes tough on men that hit women.
JT thinks he's a fucking psychiatrist.
Understands that there is a difference between men and women. Do you know women can beat the crap out of a man and go to court?
You're not supposed to hurt your patient, you dumb fucker.
Unless there's like long-term damage or they use it.
You think you're helping these people? That fucker thinks he's actually helping.
In the face, you're probably going to get.
He likes to say words like basically, just the way he talks.
The woman is
all right, that's fucking learned behavior. Wherever you learned it from.
Why? Because we understand.
Probably did go to college. Take all those fucking liberal suck fuck courses.
When a man hits a woman, it is
everybody has to take psychology.
Much more of a threat than if a
you can't get a 4-year degree without taking psychology classes. You're pretty much gonna have to. When you have your electives, you go from semester to semester. You're an idiot, JT. You don't know shit.
Because we acknowledge that there is a difference in the two.
Young and inexperienced, and you think you fucking know everything.
Thank you. This should wake all of us up.
Hey, JT, what do you think about the men your age who are serving in the military to protect your way of life? Nina's husband's in the Marine Corps. Now, she's not a young woman. If I believe what she says, she's. When I first met her, she was in her early 40s. Now she's got 2 kids. That's not young. In reality, she doesn't really look like she's 40. I don't think Mina's over 40. But she could be. I can't be sure. I've seen her on camera because she turns her camera on. Now, Lady Venom looks 40. She looks pretty rough. Over there hating on America. Yeah. She has said some of the most disparaging things about the military, that Lady Venom. Christine, whatever her fucking name is. If I was forced to choose, if I had to choose, I would choose Rusty over you, Lady Venom, any fucking day of the week. If I was going to be henpecked, it would be by her, not by you. That's what I'm saying. Come on, Wiggin. You trusted that woman. You wanted me to apologize to her. You're fucked up, Wiggin. Now, Tiffany finds something out that happened here. She wants it. She fucking turned me in. Fuck you, Tiffany. Good luck finding it. I hope you do. I hope you do find it. Because she did. She came up here and she was upset. And they were going, a lot of them going after, it's your brother. I doubt they're brother and sister. And if they are, so what? Let's say they are brother and sister. Doesn't mean they're sleeping together. So what? Family sticks together. Yeah. What if these two were orphan kids? Well, we know or not because she lied about her parents being dead. So there you go. What if? You guys are always playing what if. About an Empty Child. I might have banned that. I'm not sure, Empty Child. I know you got 15,000 other accounts. Come on. Come on, Empty Child. You want to come up? No, I want to listen to the radio. I ain't fucking dealing with you fuckers. Sit here and wait for you to click on my link. You fucking chicken shits. Commercial.
Now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief.
All right, in between commercials.
Can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
Just call 800-841.
There you go. Go ahead, Empty Child. Click on my link and come on up here and tell me how fucked up I am. Come on.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems.
Feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your paycheck, close your business, and file.
About you, Tom Flash. As soon as you got with Rusty, you come right after me. Yeah, you did. Now look at you.
They allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount.
I should have never let you know I was even in your chat. Yeah, I fucking fooled you.
Traffic jam from the Beltway. Delays continue from Lorton and into Woodbridge. And
What do you want, Charlie? All right, Charlie. I'll let you up, Charlie.
Fairfax Circle on the eastbound lane.
What's up, Billy?
The 2 lanes remain blocked. Traffic is jammed.
What do you think is up?
Why are you so mad at Wigan? What did he do to you?
You come up here to wait tonight for that motherfucker?
No, I just wanted to ask you what it was, man. You guys got along great the past couple of days.
Hey, don't be stupid.
Stupid? Come on,
You
man.
are being stupid, yes.
Are you trying to tell me that you and Wigan have never?
I'm not trying to tell you anything other than the fact that you are stupid.
Your beard's looking good, Billy.
Well, anyways, is Wigan doing it because he loves me, or is he doing it because he wants to rile everybody else?
What do you think?
I don't know what to think.
Seriously,
he won't talk to me. No, he doesn't like me. He's trying to get rid of me.
Talk about his woman.
That ain't his fucking woman. She's been everybody's woman.
So what?
He should be. Fuck you, Charlie. You fucking fat fuck. Go suck Papa Dickless's dick. Goodbye. Sick of you. Yeah, I banned you, Charlie. Fuck you. Can't stand you, Charlie. You don't know when to shut your fucking mouth. Go beat your wife. Try not to get a restraining order this time. Wigan can come up and speak for himself. So can't daughter. Any of them. No, here comes his fucking buddy. Come that didn't work. What the fuck? Really? Okay. All right. And you want to fucking do that shit? Yeah, we'll do that.
What will you choose? As you make choices about the future, the military can be a resource for information to help bring us to the path in the program. Public service message from the defense.
Yeah, LD Live pissed on a woman's jacket on JT's panel. Boy, that was real fucking smart.
It's free. Go to creditfairy.org. Creditfairy.org.
We did have fun over here at first. Then Wigan holding hands with Gotti, and then the next day they're fighting again. It's just so. You guys are just. That's why I call him wishy-washy there, Charlie, you queer little motherfucker. Report me for bullying. Go ahead. Fucking idiot. He's playing Philadelphia Freedom. You can't hear it unless you're listening to it.
January of 2000 to January 2025, the Dow increased by 260%, the S&P by 320, and the NASDAQ by 380. Yeah, that's impressive.
Hope you're listening, Whipper.
Outperformed them all with an incredible 800% growth. A $100,000 investment could have grown to over $900,000. Yes, gold has always been a valuable asset for protection. Now, I trust Advantage Gold because they're rated one of America's top gold companies by TrustLink for 9 consecutive years and have handled over $1 billion in retirement.
Yeah, ain't nothing stopping daughter from coming up here and voicing her. I'll let her talk.
And right now they're offering a
Not trying to get into her pants. I'm not trying to get in anybody's fucking pants out here. Wiggin, you're just, it's fucking sophomoric.
$8,000 right now to get your free protection kit.
That's 800-900-8000.
Rusty would be lost had Wolfie said, yeah, Rusty, Billy's right. You need to stop. She'd fucking flip.
8,000 right now. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional. All right, I want to get to some of your phone calls here.
I'm not the one who gave Wolfie a hard time about her channel.
381-3811.
And she knows it.
Let me go to John. Welcome. You're on the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in for the Great One. How are you? Doing well, sir.
I wish you well, Wolfie. You know I do.
Good ideas. I'd love to see.
Fucking Wiggin.
You know, we take
Fuck you.
Voters working together, and it's basically the Comcast, for example, is in 36 states, and 17 of those states are red states, and it's the local government that decides who gets the cable contract in the community. So if all of those voters were to contact our local government and even our state government and say, hey, you know, we think Comcast should not have the contract because
you're describing what it would refer to as a monopoly, sir.
Yeah, but more than that, they're crappy at their job. This guy did a documentary on YouTube that they suck, that they just, I mean, it had nothing to do with them being a Democrat propaganda media institution, which is why I hate them, but I never had them as a provider anyway. But this
What's interesting about what you're saying, John, is that there is a lot of news that's been breaking about where our tax dollars have been going. And I'm going to talk about this more in the next hour. We found out that Politico and the Associated Press have been subsidized, basically, in essence, like they're NPR, by your tax dollars. And guess who's been funding them? The left. Well, you think they're going to write any bad articles about Democrats if they're being subsidized?
I brought this up a long time ago.
Millions of dollars.
I've been talking about this for.
And look, there's a lot of corruption that we have witnessed in telecom, and a lot of corruption that we've witnessed when it comes to many of these media outlets. And now we're seeing that. I think there's going to be a lot more transparency moving forward. And look, I don't know exactly about Comcast. Want to be fully clear about that. But I do think that there's a lot of issues like this that's worth calling your congressman about. John, I appreciate the phone call. 1-877-381-3811. One of you just wrote an interesting tweet at me and on X at Ben Ferguson Show. It said, Ben, I am a coach. And I got to tell you, the women that I coach and the mothers today, when they showed up for practice a little over an hour ago, were acting like it was one of the biggest moments in their sports life. Many of them were worried about going into high school having to share a locker room with a male. Where we are, they had made it clear that the men that said they are women were allowed in the locker rooms and on the teams. Now that the president has taken away the money and saying we're going to defund anyone that's allowing for men and women's sports in the public schools and sign this executive order, it is a day of relief and excitement for all of the young girls that I coach. Last year, we had 3 different players who had scholarships that were not awarded to them because men acting like women took those spots on their college team that came out of our small town. This was a much bigger problem than anyone wanted to admit.
What's the matter, Patrick?
Like
you ain't got the patience to wait?
Thank you, President Trump, for protecting women's sports.
I'm listening to this. You can't fucking sit there and wait? I don't want people seeing you on my panel. I let them know you're here, and you left. Well, they seen you here because as soon as I let you up, I put the big screen up. See? All you had to do is wait. He's done. Commercial. What time is it? Yeah, 6:58. Top of the hour. There you go, Patrick.
Westwood One, the largest audio network with premium news, sports and entertainment programming, including the NFL.
Patrick don't like it when I don't put him up on the screen. He fucking can't stand it. Come on up and talk. Like, pretend we're on the radio and you can't see me. Come on, Patty Cakes. Show me your driver's license. I got a feeling you don't have a valid driver. I think you got nailed for drinking and driving. All right, Mr. Majestic. Huh? Talk. Patrick, talk. What do you got to say? Anything? You don't want to show your license either, huh? You coming back or what? You want to play? You want to play fucking panel tag? Might better go to JC's and hang out. She'll probably treat you better. You fucking mumble all the time. Billy, remember your teachings. Duh. Patrick, you did. You got fucking nailed for D. You don't have a valid driver's license, do you? Well, I didn't really ask you to come up. I don't really want you up here. You don't do anything for me. The fuck you ain't. All you do is you sit in your chair, you're drunk, and you point that back scratcher. Well, you could have said something. You don't have to be on screen for everybody to see it. It's my fucking chat. Uh-oh. Hey, here comes the fucking porn bombers. Is that you, Matt Galligan? If it is, turn your camera on. Yeah, you don't make the rules here, Patrick. You really don't. Okay, you're not connected, Matt, so I can't let you up.
Most areas around 7 a.m. Bridges and overpasses could still be there. Federal workers
Just Randy coming up to make a comment in my backstage.
Against Elon Musk's gutting of the federal government. Otis Johnson with the American Federation of Government Employees.
No, you can enter the studio without connecting your mic. I know for a fact. Keep trying.
I move that the committee subpoena Elon Musk to come to court as a witness at the earliest possible moment.
You're kidding, right, Patrick? Patrick, you're fucking kidding, right? Oh, hey, Patrick, guess what? You go on union break. Union breaks generally are 30 minutes. If you're in construction, it's only 15. No, you get a 15-minute break till lunch. Then you get one before closing time.
And urges. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Sorry there, Patty Cakes. It's my way or the highway. So, you got 30 minutes to think about it. You can come back. And hope I'm still here because I might leave. Wednesday night, the guys are bored. They've been just showing up to play cards.
Delegate Jason Buckle. Maryland has been ranked 49, almost dead last in private sector job creation. The goals for the governor include fixing the tax code.
My cousin's a Cowboys fan. Him and I watched every game Emmitt Smith ever played. Those were the days. That fucker start running, you ain't catching him. Phew, fucking gone.
pretending that collecting taxes from a pot shop on every corner is good business.
The retail bill passed on a party line in the Senate and with limited bipartisan support. Republican supporters say illegal sales would bring regulation and enforcement to what is now a black market. John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Traffic and weather next.
This podcast is sponsored by Laurel Road. Bigger Pockets, we're always trying to find ways to help tax which is why you should check out Laurel Road. Laurel Road's banking and solutions include student loan refinancing, mortgages, personal loans, student loan cashback credit cards, tailored savings accounts.
Alvaro ain't been back. What's the matter, Alvaro?
Costs $0 to open. It's a great solution.
I was watching that day in fucking Wiggins chat. You come in there. One of the first ones. Actually, I was. Wiggin can't go live without me knowing about it. Neither can JC. Neither can Rusty. Yesterday was... Is that the first time I was ever in his fucking chat? Oh, Tom Flashy boy there. He's a real fucking winner. I got a feeling Tom Flash one time in his life probably tried to commit suicide. He said something about he's worked under the table all his life. That's why he only gets $600 for... What is your disability? Why would someone like you be on Social Security disability? That's what SSI is. That's where if you're under the age for regular Social Security and you get hurt on the job, or if you're born with a disability, right, and you grow up with it.
Still find the disabled tractor trailer on southbound 95 at the Virginia 644 Springfield Franconia exit, blocking the right center lane.
You're fucking acid head. You fucking tripped so many times in your life. Ruined you. Tom Flash is the best example of why you don't drop acid. He's worse than the guy over in England. Let's see, it would be that way. East. That's east for me.
Rain will end Thursday afternoon with high temperatures 48 to 53. 7 Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 36 degrees in Washington.
Yeah, Tiffany, let me know if you find that clip when rain come up here. I wouldn't even begin to go look for it. I didn't chronicle it. If I'd have wrote it down, I'd know where to go to get it. I could probably spend some time and go look at the old videos and skim through them. That's what you're going to have to do. Good luck. Because I stream it every day. You might want to go and hear Gotti brag about how good my numbers were. Backstabbing fucker. Ha, Gotti. Gotti, if I ever get you and Wiggin together, I'm going to fucking sew you guys together with a straitjacket.
To the playbook to do exactly what they do well. And that is...
I'll fucking wrap you two up in straitjacket so you're hugging each other.
You don't respect the will of the people and the mandate that Donald Trump has.
Be the freak show at the circus.
16 or now, it's pretty clear you just say, screw it. We'll just impeach that guy. It didn't take but 2 weeks for Democrats to unite, not to help the American people, not to commit to stopping the waste, fraud, and abuse at places like USAID, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. But it took them 2 weeks to get their act together to do, they believe, the important work that the American people sent them to Washington to do. To impeach Donald Trump for a third time. Representative Al Green going to the floor of the House.
Now, here we go. Oh, my God. Al Green. He's the head of the Congressional Black Caucus.
Still I rise. Mr. Speaker.
Congressman from Texas.
Today, Mr. Speaker,
this dumb fuck.
It may concern message.
Oh, I can't stand this fucker.
Ethnic cleansing in Gaza is not a joke.
He's a black man in Texas.
From the President of the United States.
Member of Congress. What the fuck is wrong with Texas?
When he has the ability to affect what he says.
Oh, same thing is wrong with New York. We got Schumer.
And the Prime Minister of
Gillibrand.
Be ashamed, knowing the history of this people.
to stand there.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We got her. She's from New York.
Has been a crime against humanity. And I stand here today in the well to denounce what he was said, to denounce what the president said, to denounce the complicity of the prime minister of Israel, and to remind people that Dr. King was
Logical. There's your Jew hater, buddy, right there. Al Green, congressman from Texas. Because Logical hates the fucking Jews.
of America.
That's his old spiel out here. Hi, Johnny Weinstein.
The president has begun. I rise to announce
Fucking genius, my foot.
articles of impeachment against the president.
Come on, Logical.
For dastardly
Come on.
deeds proposed
That's Al Green doing that shit right there.
I also rise to say that the impeachment movement is going to be a grass up movement, not a top down. The people have got to move forward. The people have to demand it.
He don't represent me. He doesn't represent me. I'm not from Texas. I don't get to vote for this fucker.
So there it is. We're going to impeach him. Donald Trump, I did it before. I laid the foundations for impeachment, and it was done. So
There you are, Nina. You got it firsthand.
Now,
you won't get this at JC's. JC wouldn't let me come up on her panel and do this and talk about real politics, what's really going on in the world. Just shoot the tires. Just shoot the tires. Damn truckers blowing their horns because they don't want to wear a mask.
By Iran, and the attack on the people in Israel, and Israel responding, defending themselves against the terror network and the tunnels and everything that we saw in Gaza.
Good luck selling your wood.
Donald Trump is a man committing genocide. Now, to be clear,
Oh, yeah. Trudeau said, yes, Mr. President, we'll do it your way.
they're not there.
Fuck you, Trudeau.
The area is
dumb
turned
fucker.
into
Now's your chance. You could become famous, Trudeau.
2 weeks
You
ago.
could be governor of one of the provinces. I don't think they'll make all of Canada a state because there's 5, 6 provinces. Now you got Quebec, Ontario, Saskatchewan. What else? What's the other one? I forget. So it'd actually be 51, 52, 50. There'd be several more states
0.1% of the time.
because it'd be part of America. It wouldn't be called Canada anymore. You're not going to call it State of Canada. I mean, I guess you could.
So let's move
You guys
to
would all
what he's
become
really
one
about.
great big state.
The real reason why
That's
Iran is
funny.
moving to impeach Donald Trump
JC, come on up. Let's have some fun.
because he's angry that we're finding out about the money. You want to know how much of our taxpayer money? You got to work for an average wage.
Better listen,
Once a year to
JC.
Pay your damn taxes. You want to know how much of your taxpayer dollars politicians have given to foreign countries in the last 4 years? And this has nothing to do with the USAID money. All right, like this is just overall raw figures. Okay. You want to know? There's no one virtually that asks for American money that apparently we don't just give it away. Now we're trillions in debt. No one seems to give a crap. Donald Trump understands as a businessman that we're going bankrupt as a nation, that our debt that we have to pay just on the interest on the debt is more than our defense budget, for goodness sakes, right now. But you want to know how much money we gave over the last 4 years under Biden and Harris to other countries? I'm going to go through the list real quick. We gave about $300 million to Mexico. The question every taxpayer should be asking, and it shouldn't be a political question, it should just be a question every taxpayer should ask. Why the hell did we give Mexico $300 million? When they're flooding our country with the worst, and they're flooding our country and allowing people to flow through their country into our country, they're on the terrorist watch list that are in MS-13 gangs and the worst gangs in the world. They are human trafficking, and they're killing our population by the hundreds of thousands with fentanyl overdoses. Why would we give Mexico $300 million? Czech Republic over the last 4 years got $300 million. Why the hell are they getting that money? Estonia got $334 million as well. Lithuania got $339 million. Poland got $375 million. Romania got $397 million of our tax dollars. Bulgaria got $431 million. Tanzania got $471 million. Pakistan got more than any of those countries I just listed, $536 million.
Colombia, a lot of drugs coming from Colombia, a lot of bad hombres coming from Colombia. It got 731 million. The Philippines got more than that, 809 million. Somalia got 998 million. Lebanon got $1 billion. Iraq got 2.2 billion. Jordan got 2.3 billion. Afghanistan got 6.1 billion. Egypt got 6.3 billion. And Ukraine got 2.6 billion. By the way, Ukraine, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Zelensky just kind of dropped a bombshell that he says about 100 million of the 200 plus million that's been given to them has gone missing since the war started. He didn't know where it went. Has no idea. So $100 million just disappeared. That's a lot of money, folks. Ukraine's got 2.6 billion. Israel has received 8.5 billion. Now, you go through that list, and the question is, what are we getting in return? How much of our taxpayer money should we be okay with going away to these countries that could be helping us in this country? Could be helping with private education for our kids because our public schools suck and we're failing our kids nationwide. We're raising generations of incompetent idiots. Not because the kids are incompetent, because our education system is incompetent and we are raising and educating them to be stupid. We're giving them the worst education possible at the highest price possible because we put teachers' unions and indoctrinating kids to hate America ahead of reading, writing, and arithmetic. By the way, to be clear, I don't want any kid to be indoctrinated in any political party in education. I want the kids in our public schools to be able to read, write, and do arithmetic at an amazing level. I think our education system is beyond broken. I don't actually think you can fix it. I think you have to burn it down. I think it's time to tear the whole system down and start from the ground up. And I think the private sector is the way to go. I want to be clear. Government, name me one thing that government's really good at. We suck at all of it, folks. And that's part of the reason why Elon Musk and Doge is doing what they're doing. But you look at all this money that I just mentioned. This is your tax dollars. And then let's go to USAID. Some of the most insane things, and there's a lot more still coming out. In fact, some of it may come out while we're doing this show, is spending that money on things that you can't even imagine. The highlight list for you. You ready for this? $2 million for a Moroccan pottery classes. Your tax dollars, and by the way, we don't have $2 million. We're borrowing the $2 million, and then you're paying debt on the $2 million. So the real cost to you could easily be $5, $8, $10 million, depending on how long we take to pay off that $2 million of debt. So this is the raw cost, and then we're borrowing the money, which means it's a lot more. It's kind of like when you buy a house, and let's just throw out a figure. You buy a house for $1 million, and you end up paying like $2 million plus for that house because you add in the interest over the 30 years to borrow the money. You look at giving $2 million to a Moroccan pottery classes. I don't, by the way, believe that actually all the money's going to the Moroccan pottery classes. I think it's being embezzled, just like more than 50% of the money we've given to Ukraine. Now Zelensky's saying we never saw the money. He doesn't know where it is. He doesn't know where it ended up. It's not on the battlefield, right? You want to talk about corruption? We sent $20 million for a damn Sesame Street show in Iraq. 20 million of your tax dollars. Now, I go back to what I said. I don't know how long it's going to take us to pay off the $20 million. But if you go and you look at and you just take I'm just looking at basic debt here. All right. You put $20 million in a interest calculator, and you look at that $20 million and you do that $20 million over a 30-year loan. You know what that's going to be at a 7.5% interest rate? You know what you're going to pay a month on that interest? Over $150,000. your payment is going to be $181,000 a month to loan the $20 million to a country to make Sesame Street in Iraq. Let that sink in, folks. 1-877-381-3811. Ben Ferguson filling in for Mark Levin. Follow me during the break on Instagram if you're on there, at Ben Ferguson Podcast. And don't forget, grab my podcast, the Ben Ferguson Podcast. I'd love to keep up with you there every day. And my new one, it's a short form podcast in the morning called the 47 Morning Update. Giving you the 3 big stories each morning to start your day coming out of the White House. We'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Working hard is worth it if you're seeing results. And when it comes to working out, the same thing is true. You want the maximum benefit in the time you have, and that's exactly what Tonal is built for. And with their latest iteration, Tonal 2, you can ensure your workout is more tailored and effective than ever. Tonal's at-home strength training system uses adaptive weight to learn from your movement and set the optimal weight for every move, adjusting in 1-pound increments up to 250 pounds, challenging even the most advanced users to push their limits. You can also experience a full-body burn with the new Arrowhit workouts, the perfect blend of heart-pumping cardio and strength. Plus, the new built-in Smart View leverages a high-resolution camera that lets you see yourself during your workout, analyzes your movement, and provides real-time coaching, just like a personal trainer. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code TONAL200. That's Tonal.com and use promo code TONAL200 for $200 off your purchase. That's Tonal.com, promo code TONAL200 for $200 off.
Attention taxpayers, the IRS is intensifying collections in 2025. If you owe $10,000 or more or have unfiled tax returns, it's time to take action. Tax Network USA's experienced lawyers have saved clients over $1 billion. They're ready to negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Don't risk wage garnishment, property seizure, or losing your home. Call 1-800-278-9000 today. Get the help you need at 1-800-278-9000 or visit tnusa.com.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS.
SIDS?
You know, sudden infant death syndrome.
Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
Real stories about real people on the Sean Ryan Show.
John Shrek McPhee, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
Been a long time coming, huh?
I thought I should have been the first guest.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Making sense of your money, the state of the economy, the ability to afford your life. That's what people want. Vince Colonnese, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. The kind of thing I pay attention to. I'm looking at News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
When I first learned about the basics of estate planning, it was driven home to me the importance of protecting my family. We all know about creating a will or building a trust, but what people don't know about are how documents can be misconstrued if not properly done. You don't want to leave your assets vulnerable to the government's decisions. That's why I recommend Trust and Will. Be prepared. Protect your family by managing your will or trust online. Trustandwill.com. Use code MARK. You'll get 10% off at trustandwill.com, code MARK.
Trust and Will is an online estate planning service and is not a law firm. See trustandwill.com for details. Making sense of your world.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Okay, so with you.
Making sense of the news. Tomorrow on the Chris Plank Show, this is the U.S. Congress.
Tranny. You want penises and women's bathrooms.
I am on WMAL.
Welcome back. It is the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one. And if you just joined us, we're talking about where your money is going and exactly what is happening just through USAID spending. So one of you, and I love this, by the way, because I did this morning because I woke up really early and I wanted to just give as much info as I could for you guys today on where your money's going with USAID spending. Now, this is not the overall government. This is just one little aspect of the government, which is insane. And a moment ago during the break, one of you sent a message on X. You can send messages to me at Ben Ferguson Show on X. Please follow me. I'd love to keep up with you. So Ben, your numbers you just gave are wrong. You had a down payment in your numbers, and you are absolutely right. I did. I was using a mortgage calculator. So let's go back to the numbers I just said about Sesame Street. We've given $20 million to make a damn Sesame Street show. In Iraq. We don't have the 20 million, so we're not cutting a check for that. We're borrowing the money. And when you borrow the money, if you do it on a 15-year loan, so screw that. Let's do 10-year. All right. Let's say that we're ballers and we're going to pay this thing off in 10 years. And if you do 0%, like a down payment, right? So I'm just getting a pure loan here. Our principal and interest a month on that 20 million as taxpayers, what we're on the hook for every month is $237,000. Get your head around that. It's a lot of money. We're going to have to pay all that back. Like, it's a lot of cash, folks. It's not a little bit of money. It's a lot of cash. So when you put it into perspective that you're sending 20 million and you got to write a check for this much money every single month, for them to make Sesame Street, our U.S. investment in Sesame Street is we're saying we're going to spend $250,000 every 30 days to do Sesame Street in Iraq. You as a taxpayer, whether you voted for Biden or Harris or Trump, you should be enraged. I don't believe, by the way, the $20 million actually going to Sesame Street in Iraq. I just don't. We also spent money sending Ukrainians to Paris Fashion Week. That's not a joke. We actually did that. We were like, hey, you guys are getting bombed. Some of you guys need to go to the Fashion Week, right? In Paris, like, that's something you deserve. We're going to pay for it. We spent money on that. We spent $1.5 million for DEI in Serbia. Now, you think about these numbers, and the best way I can explain them to you, or maybe it'll be more impactful on your life, is I want you to think about your house note. And I want you to think about how much money you borrowed and how much money you saved for that down payment. And then I want you to think about how much you're paying. And then these numbers all of a sudden start to be looked at very differently. Like, if you've got a $2 million house note on a 30-year loan, it ain't cheap. And we're throwing around $2 million and $20 million like no big deal. We spent $70,000 for a DEI musical in Ireland. $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. By the way, I don't want any opera in Colombia. I don't care if it's straight or not. $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't want to be paying for a pro-Trump comic book in Peru for $32,000. Like, keep my money in America. $2 million for sex changes to cut off breasts and penises in Guatemala. Not trying to be graphic. I'm just being honest, right? You're asking me to spend $2 million. Think about what your house is worth and think about what you pay every month and understand we don't have the $2 million. We're borrowing the $2 million, just like you borrowed money to pay for your house. And our kids and our grandkids are going to be saddled with this $2 million that we just borrowed for the sex changes in Guatemala. But we can't get adequate mental health care for our veterans who served in Iraq and Afghanistan in America. $6 million for tourism in Egypt. Like, with all due respect to Egypt, I'm sure it's a great place. Never been there. But pay for your own damn tourism.
Why would I pay for you to promote your country so that we are having fewer people come to America? Like, we should be promoting tourism in America that actually brings in tourist dollars and then tax dollars into America. We shouldn't be paying $6 million to tell people to go to see Egypt. By the way, I don't believe that the $6 million actually went to support tourism in Egypt. I think the money's being funneled into the pockets of corrupt Egyptian politicians and their family members. $1 million to help disabled people in Kazakhstan become climate leaders, not just to help people that are disabled. No, you've got to become a Kazakhstanian climate leader. This is where your money is being spent. This is what Donald Trump is stopping. This is what Elon Musk is stopping. Now you know why they want to impeach him for a third damn time. We'll be right back.
A new president is sworn in. America's greatness is being restored. And there's breaking news every minute. Now, tens of millions of Americans are turning off Fox and CNN and tuning in to Newsmax for the breaking information they really need to know. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top news brands in America. Find it yourself on all major cable systems and on your TV or smartphone store. Just download the Newsmax app for free and start watching. You'll get great shows with Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and Carl Higbee, and more. Find out why millions of Americans have made the switch. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific, and he's watching. So make the switch to Newsmax. Check us out on cable and satellite TV or download the Newsmax app today. Watch us anytime, anywhere. Remember, Newsmax is real news for real people.
In the city, 395 southbound is slow from 3rd Street Tunnel to the Southwest Freeway exit. On the northbound side of the 395, you'll find it jammed up between 14th Street and the 3rd Street Tunnel. 695 southbound is slow from the 3rd Street Tunnel to the 8th Street exit. Coming out of D.C. and the BW Parkway, northbound of Riverdale, slow from 410 to the Beltway. And in Greenbelt, the northbound side of the BW Parkway is stop and go from NASA Goddard to 197. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
A winter weather advisory in effect from late tonight through tomorrow morning. A wintry mix and freezing rain could make roads icy for your morning commute. Tomorrow, morning rain, afternoon clearing, highs in the lower 50s.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because of one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Making sense of Washington. So it happened again? Is that what you're telling me? Yet another guest of this program now has a job in the Trump administration. Vince Colonnade. Weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. The Trump transition team is spending a lot of time on WMAL.com looking at all of the guests who have appeared on this program, which does bring a smile to my face. I do like that good people are getting good jobs. Vince Colonnade, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Baby should always sleep on the back in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of fizz. Fizz? You know, sudden infant syndrome. Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. You his favorite uncle, gosh, his responsibility.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nlphc.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
YouTube personality Benny Johnson has cracked the code on a new era of newsmaking. It's got to be music to your ears. It's like the angels sing. Listen, learn, and laugh.
Very good food. Oh, this is going to be glorious day. I'm having no fees.
A new cultural landscape.
So it's an important moment right now. Does this deserve another look?
The Benny Show.
See that in all of its glory.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companion for independent assistance dog for a person with a disability. To get there, she needs lots of loving care and attention. plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit TTI.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability.
I'm Rick McIntyre. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want. I'm here to tell you that's true. Since I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a successful singer and entertainer. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to find my success, but it was worth it. I never gave up on my dreams. Remember, you can never have a dream come true until you've had a dream. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Making sense of the tragedy.
342 crashed with a Black Hawk helicopter.
An airliner was attempting to land on runway 33 Reagan National Airport. Sadly, there are no survivors.
Absolutely heartbreaking for the family and loved ones who have happened. There's crew members. I had a conversation with Secretary Pete Hempstead. Mistake was made.
We are going to conduct a thorough investigation.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
And first responders.
Making sense of the news. Making sense of your work. Radio is where I get my information. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. The Vince Colonnade Show, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. If you want to talk to Mark, we have two numbers for you to call. Americans call 877-381-3811. Well, liberals call 877-381-3811.
Welcome back. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one, Mark. Talking about USAID money and where is it going? How much of it is being used for corruption? How much of it is going into the pockets of politicians around the world and their family members and oligarchs? I got another one for you. Do you really think it takes $7.9 million to teach Sri Lanka journalists how to avoid binary gendered language? Because that's how much we spend. Now, I have a question, and I want to be clear. I'm asking this sincerely. How many Sri Lanka journalists are there? Can anyone give me that number? I looked for it earlier. I couldn't get an answer. I even asked ChatGPT, whatever the hell it's called. Don't laugh at me, Mr. Producer. I did. I asked. I literally said, how many Sri Lanka journalists are there in the world? This is the answer I got from ChatGPT. Determining the exact number of Sri Lanka journalists worldwide is challenging due to the lack of comprehensive data. The category Sri Lanka journalists page on Wiki lists 143 individuals. That's interesting. So let's go with that number, hypothetically. Well, you know what? Let me read the rest of what ChatGPT said to me. But this is not an exhaustive count. Sri Lanka has a diverse media landscape with approximately 20 daily newspapers, 50 weekly publications, 30 monthly magazines, 50 radio stations, and 20 television stations. Given the extensive presence, it's reasonable to infer that there are several hundred journalists working within Sri Lanka. Okay, so let's just do the math. You got, let's just blow this number out of the water. Let's make Sri Lanka journalism bigger than this. Let's say it's 250 journalists. You've got 250 journalists, and you divide that by $7.9 million. It's a lot of cash, right? You're spending over $31,000 per journalist to teach them how to avoid binary gendered language. Now let's think about tutoring hours here. Let's say that this was like the most extensive training ever, one-on-one. So you hire a whole bunch of people to go sit down with the 250 journalists, not in a room, not like put them into subgroups of 10 or 15 or 25, all right, or a conference, right, like normal sane people do. Let's hypothetically say that you hire 250 people to sit down one-on-one to indoctrinate the Sri Lanka journalists
how to avoid binary gender language every day like it's a college class for an entire year. 31,000 per student, right? Per journalist. That's what we're talking about here. Or is this just straight up money laundering? Going into the pockets of corrupt people in Sri Lanka. You can decide, but this is a question we should be asking. We also spent $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. Now, a couple things about this. Do American taxpayers give a crap about combating disinformation in Kazakhstan? And what type of disinformation? Like Donald Trump is good, therefore they say that's disinformation? Like, is it propaganda? Is this about exporting American propaganda? Or is this just some way to send $4.5 million to Kazakhstan that can then be taken by the government elite? We spent $1.5 million for art for inclusion of people with disabilities through USAID. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. Now, there's a lot of men and women in uniform that have served this country that are waiting for surgeries with the VA, and we're going to get VA reforms. There's no doubt about that because of Donald Trump. But in the last year, there are people that I know that are waiting for them to get certain medical clearances and to be cleared certain things like, you know, to get 80% or 70% disability or 90% disability or full disability, who are waiting on things to happen. And in fact, I know someone that waited for 9 months on a back surgery, but we spent $2 million. We sent $2 million that we don't have. I keep going back to that because I think it is important for you to understand. Look at a home loan on a $2 million home. Look at the monthly. I've got the mortgage calculator up. Let's just do it right now while we're live on the air, because this is the best way that I can explain how egregious the spending is. You do a $2 million loan for 10 years at 7.5% interest. Okay, you're talking $25,000 a month for the next decade. $25,123 is what we are looking at paying for the program of sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. I don't believe that the American people are in favor of this. This is why Donald Trump is burning down all the government corruption and saying we are going to shut these programs down. You can't even rehabilitate them because they're nothing more than money laundering schemes for the left. J.D. Vance put out a tweet, quote, "When Elon and the team started, I was very supportive of Doge, but thought the waste and fraud would top out at $250 billion. The real amount of money saved will end up being much higher. This after Elon Musk put out a tweet saying fraud in the federal government is closer to 10% of disbursements. So more like $700 billion per year. He says outright waste is at least 15%, so another $1 trillion plus. And he says anyone in government knows this. Which brings me back to the point that I was making a moment ago. You look at what was said by Representative Al Green. He runs down there to the floor of the House and he says, we're going to impeach Donald Trump. The reason why is because their piggy bank is disappearing, folks.
I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done. I also rise to say that the impeachment movement is going to be a grass-up movement, not a top-down. The people have got to move forward. The people have to demand it. And when the people demand it, it will be done. I did it before. I laid the foundation for impeachment. And it was done. Nobody knows more about it than I. And I know that it's time for us to lay the foundation again. On some issues, it is better to stand alone than not stand at all. On this issue, I stand alone, but I stand for justice. I yield back the balance of my time.
Al Green calling for Trump's impeachment 2 weeks into his term because this guy's piggy bank is getting decimated. And the reason why Democrats have had so many friends and donors is because they've been taking the government dollars, your tax dollars, and handing them out to everyone. I want to take a moment and talk to you about a really important organization that I've got to know well over the last couple of years, and that is the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. After more than a year of war, terror, and pain in Israel, there is still a great demand for basic humanitarian aid. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has supported and continues to support those in the Holy Land, still facing the lingering horrors of war and those who are in desperate need right now. Your $100 gift today will provide critically needed aid to communities in the North and South that have been devastated by the ongoing war. Your generous donation to the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews will deliver help to those in need, including the evacuees and refugees from the war-torn areas. First responders and volunteers need your help, wounded soldiers need your help, and elderly Holocaust survivors need your help. Families, many of them have lost everything, also need our help. So to give a gift to bless Israel and her people, you can call the IFCJ right now. 844-866-IFCJ, and you can donate today. That's 844-866-IFCJ. 844-866-IFCJ. All right, I want to get to some of your phone calls and get some of your reaction to all of that we're talking about with this government waste and USAID, and now they're moving for impeachment. 1-877-381-3811. 1-877-381-3811. Ben Ferguson filling in for Mark Levin. We'll be right back with your phone calls.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. Making sense of the media.
The news media is attacking them because this is what happens when you're a Republican.
Let's plan. Weekdays, 9 to noon.
Yeah, our news media, really.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
No one knows music like Rolling Stone. Senior writer Brian Hyatt talks the biggest music news from the biggest stars.
Almost everyone is teaming up on Drake. It's like Drake versus the world. You first met Prince driving for him before you were drumming for him. You kind of have to understand how Stevie began. White radio. That's where the money was. That's where it still is.
Rolling Stone music now. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Green light. Hey girl, cool down. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Making sense of your money, the state of the economy, the ability to afford your life. That's what people want.
Vince Colonnese, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
The kind of thing I pay attention to. I'm looking at
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. Making sense of the tragedy.
Flight 5342 crashed with a Black Hawk helicopter.
Sadly, there are no survivors.
Mistake was made.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL,
And first responders.
making sense of the news. The issues
There's a whole lot missing here in the story, isn't there?
every day. Why are we the only ones reporting that? News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Searching HVAC near here.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Wow, nobody local? Huh.
Wait, what? We are an HVAC company literally in your neighborhood. Why is she not seeing us?
Just saw the big chains. Well, it is what it is.
Can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local HVAC providers. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Hi, I'm Jake.
Professional race car driver. Cab driver. Professional cab driver. Sorry, professional cab driver. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org. Oh, I think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal race car for a spin. Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
Mark Levin here for a trusted sponsor, Advantage Gold. Been reported that from January 2000 to January 2025, the Dow increased 260%, the S&P 500 320%, the NASDAQ 380%, but gold outperformed them all with an incredible 800% growth. So $100,000 investment, let's say an IRA, could have grown to $900,000 or more. See, gold has always been a valuable asset for protection. I trust Advantage Gold because they're rated one of America's top gold companies by TrustLink for 9 consecutive years and have handled over $1 billion in retirement transactions. Right now, they're offering a free guide on protecting your wealth with gold. No cost, no obligation. Just call 800-900-8000. Get your free protection kit. That's 800-900-8000. The guide can make a huge difference in your financial future at absolutely no cost to you. 800-900-8000. Call them now. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Making sense of your world.
Thank you for your clear info.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. This is a major wake-up call. Making sense of the news. The Vince Cullinane Show, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Welcome to the Marco Ben Show. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one. And tonight, I got to tell you, you want to talk about dropping the hammer on sanctuary cities. Pam Bondi gets sworn in, and immediately she gets to work. She has ordered the Department of Justice to cut off all federal funding to these cities. And let's just be honest, these are liberal strongholds or liberal cities that are sanctuary cities. She ordered the Justice Department to freeze all funding to sanctuary cities and has instructed attorneys to begin prosecuting officials who are preventing ICE from doing their jobs. Here's what I'll say. So it begins. This goes back to Donald Trump, right? FAFO, as he put it. I'm just quoting the president here. I'm going to have more on what this means in a moment. Are you looking for a voice that truly represents your values? Well, AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, was created to champion the needs of Americans who believe in faith, family, and freedom. Members gain access to incredible member benefits, including the award-winning AMAC magazine, from exclusive discounts on travel, insurance, and everyday services to a strong voice in Washington. The Association of Mature American Citizens is here to make a difference in your life and our nation. Joining AMAC isn't just about benefits, regardless of your age. It's about belonging to a community that stands for timeless American values. In honor of President Trump's first 100 days in office, the Association of Mature American Citizens is offering an incredible deal. Enroll in a 5-year AMAC membership for 47% off. Normally $60, join today for only $32. Yeah, that's a 5-year AMAC membership. Visit amac.com/Levin today to take advantage of the special offer. That's AMAC, AMAC.US/Levin today, and you can become a member and become part of a movement that stands for you and your family and your future. All right, let me give you the details now on what the new Attorney General has done. Get ready to celebrate because this is amazing. Pam Bondi, she gets sworn in. And immediately she ordered the Department of Justice to freeze all funding for sanctuary cities. This decision is one that I think a lot of people thought could happen, but now that it's a reality, it's huge. Now, let me explain to you the reasons laid out for this. Number one, it's about upholding federal immigration laws. She has advocated and argued that withholding funds from sanctuary cities reinforces the importance of adhering to federal immigration laws. The Trump administration believes that cities should not selectively enforce laws and that this action promotes uniformity across jurisdictions nationwide. The other part of this that the Trump administration wants you to understand is this. This is about enhancing public safety. Sanctuary policies inadvertently or on purpose, depending on who you're talking to, protect illegal immigrants, many of them that pose real safety risks to the community. These sanctuary cities encourage illegal immigrants to come there, and they know that they are being protected from the federal laws that they are breaking. This is another huge point. This also is an issue of ensuring equitable distribution of federal funds. Trump has said, and she said, that it is important that federal funds should be allocated to jurisdictions specifically that comply with federal laws. And by freezing this funding to sanctuary cities, now they're saying the resources are directed towards communities that fully cooperate with the federal initiatives, the federal government. So if you're not going to play by the rules, then you don't get the money to give us the middle finger and put people's lives at risk. This is a huge moment for law and order. It's long overdue. And Pam Bondi said, get ready. I'm not screwing around. It's game on. Now, let me also go back to just who Pam Bondi is and what you can expect from her. There was a moment, somebody asked me, and I tweeted this out, and if you're not following me on X, please follow me because this is some of the stuff that I put out there. And I'm going to go back in time to play this because I think it's important that you hear it. Pam Bondi was really going after and directed the Department of Justice not only to pause all federal funding, but she likes to go after the bad guys. And here is a reminder of who is now the Attorney General, right? This is who she is as a person.
These criminals made one very big mistake. They wound up in Polk County. And I'll tell you, it's bad enough in one thing to profit from poisoning others, but it's another when you bring drugs from Mexico into our country, California, Texas, Georgia, and end up in our state and do it with impunity. Because when you're in this country illegally and you're doing things illegally, I want to tell you, and you wind up in Polk County, Grady Judd is going to find you. The DEA is going to help them. And my statewide prosecutors are going to lock you up for as long as we can. And each of these defendants are looking at 30 years in Florida State Prison for conspiracy to traffic drugs.
That is what Pam Bondi said when she was the AG in Florida. I love that when she's standing there, you hear the sheriff say, and we're going to enjoy it. This is who the cartels are messing with now. This is who the sanctuary cities are messing with now. This is who the human traffickers are messing with now. This is who the NF-13 gang members are messing with now. Like it's a very different day in America. She also has come out and made it clear that she wants to hold people accountable for crimes they may have committed when it comes to the Epstein list. This is something else that I'm just going to telegraph to you. And I said this morning on my 47 Morning Update podcast. Get ready because the Epstein client list is going to drop. Pam Bondi, you go back in time. This is what she said about the Epstein client list.
Well, we know he was on the plane, not only on the plane a couple times.
And by the way, what you're hearing her say right now is referring to Bill Clinton, okay? And so she's saying, we know he was on the plane. She's referencing Bill Clinton. Keep listening.
Multiple times he traveled internationally with Jeffrey Epstein, and he was on the plane called the Lolita Express because it supposedly had a bed in there where Jeffrey Epstein had young girls. He has been a friend of his, a continuing friend of his for years and years. Contrast that with Donald Trump, who hasn't spoken to him in many years, over a decade, after he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for bad behavior. So that's the difference there. And I think Americans see the two-tier justice system. But, you know, we don't know. They're saying Clinton has not been to his private island. But
I mean, she's like, you want to see what happens when you mess around with bad people? Get ready. Get ready for the Epstein list, folks. Get ready. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one. We'll be right back.
Making sense of your world. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Greatly appreciate it.
Making sense of the news. Making sense of the media.
The news media is attacking them because this is what happens when you're a Republican.
Red Planet, weekdays 9 to noon.
Yeah, our news media, really.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. You can afford anything, but not everything.
Being poor sucks.
You especially cannot afford to miss the Afford Anything podcast, hosted by Paula Pant.
Is this obvious?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform. Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, would you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Mic drop. Hosted by former Navy SEAL Mike Ridlin. It's raw.
Any single time that you left the wire, you can lose $4 grand.
It's unfiltered.
Taking a hit, Skin, you want to pay it back?
It's tough talk from the top minds in their field.
Would I choose to not do our duty as military fighting men? No, I would not make that decision without question.
Mic drop. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS.
SIDS?
You know, sudden infant death syndrome.
Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News.
Inside the Labor Department. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. People taking to the streets calling for an end to the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency.
Angry people chanted. They're concerned about Elon Musk and the moves his Department of Government Efficiency are making through the federal workforce. AFL-CIO President Liz Schuler. The Hill says the AFL-CIO is suing over concerns that Doge is going to have unlawful access to the Labor Department and to information about investigations into companies owned by Musk. A White House official says Musk and his team of engineers at Doge have security clearance.
Fox's Jill Nato. President Trump has signed an executive order barring transgender athletes from participating in women's sports.
With my action this afternoon, we're putting every school receiving taxpayer dollars on notice that if you let men take over women's sports teams or invade your locker rooms, you will be investigated for violations of Title IX and risk your federal funding.
This is the fourth executive order the president has signed impacting transgender people since taking office January 20th. The NCAA says its board will take steps to align its policy with the executive order. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth standing by President Trump's idea to resettle Palestinians out of Gaza so that it can be rebuilt.
In Gaza, we've seen for decades, time and time again, this false belief that if we just try a different sort of Hamas, or maybe the Palestinian Authority, or maybe once they're cleared, then we allow them back in and we renegotiate again, that we'll get some sort of a different outcome.
Jordan and Egypt have rejected the idea. America's listening to Fox News.
Get ready for the chill. I'm Sharon Reardon from the Novak Motors News Desk. Good evening. We're in for another round of winter weather tonight. A winter weather advisory goes into effect around 9 and ends at 10 tomorrow morning.
With some sleet, some freezing rain before we start seeing those temperatures rise. So budget as much extra time as possible into your early morning commute. And already hearing about a handful of school delays for Thursday morning.
She thinks it will transition to all rain for most areas around 7, but bridges and overpasses could still be icy. Now that the DC Council has approved the RFK land transfer for local control, just how certain is a stadium for that site?
Unanimous approval to accept the land is one thing. What to do with it could be another. Sure, fans are excited for a potential return of NFL to the district, but Ward 6 council member Charles Allen is citing other needs as he urges the city to think creatively.
We should pencil in a huge range of housing, some large apartment buildings, some family-friendly row houses, some housing specifically set aside for affordable and for seniors.
Parks and businesses also part of his vision, while a football home with lots of asphalt for parking is not at the top of the list. In Allen's words, a stadium with roughly 8 home dates a year is not what's necessary for economic development. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Virginia Senator Mark Warner is crying foul over the implementation of President Trump's agenda.
That they were able to receive over the last 2 weeks.
Warner, the senior senator and former Virginia governor, insists the White House moves are harming the Commonwealth. The White House rescinded its order to freeze federal funding a week ago, but not the effort to review federal spending. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com. WMAL News Time is 8:04. I'm Sharon Reardon, and now here's your WMAL traffic and weather from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
On the Beltway in Maryland, you're good to go in Prince George's County and in Montgomery County. The Virginia side of the Beltway, Interloop and Outerloop are at speed. 66 in Fairfax County, no problems on the eastbound side or on the westbound side. 95 in Virginia, southbound, there is an accident. The right lane is blocked right after Dale Boulevard. Traffic is slow from 123. Northbound side of 95, accident. Both shoulders are blocked between 610 and the Marine Corps base. And on 695, 395, and 295 in the district, no problems. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
A winter weather advisory in effect from late tonight through tomorrow morning. A wintry mix and freezing rain could make roads icy for your morning commute. Tomorrow, morning rain, afternoon clearing, highs in the lower 50s.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at NissanUSA.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Working hard is worth it if you're seeing results. And when it comes to working out, the same thing is true. You want the maximum benefit in the time you have, and that's exactly what Tonal is built for. And with their latest iteration, Tonal 2, you can ensure your workout is more tailored and effective than ever. Tonal's at-home strength training system uses adaptive weight to learn from your movement and set the optimal weight for every move, adjusting in 1-pound increments up to 250 pounds, challenging even the most advanced users to push their limits. You can also experience a full-body burn with the new Arrowhit workouts, the perfect blend of heart-pumping cardio and strength. Plus, the new built-in Smart View leverages a high-resolution camera that lets you see yourself during your workout, analyzes your movement, and provides real-time coaching, just like a personal trainer. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code TONAL200. That's Tonal.com and use promo code TONAL200 for $200 off your purchase. That's Tonal.com, promo code TONAL200 for $200 off.
WMAL. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one, Mark Levin. It is an honor to be with you tonight as we are talking about winning. It's all about winning. Winning, winning, and winning. Donald Trump getting rid of government waste, fraud, and abuse through USAID and other programs. We're now also hearing more about the White House plan for the U.S. involvement in the rebuilding efforts in Gaza. By the way, there's a lot of people asking about, well, should we be doing it? How much is it going to cost? Is that where we want our money to be spent? The White House saying the U.S. involvement in rebuilding efforts does not mean commitment of troops or taxpayer dollars in Gaza. They clarified that earlier. The White House made it clear that the U.S. involvement in rebuilding Gaza does not mean a commitment to send any troops there or using any of your tax dollars for the effort. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt fielded a question from NBC News' senior White House correspondent early in the briefing after Donald Trump said Tuesday that the United States would take over the Gaza Strip, Trump also said his vision included moving Gazans to nearby Arab nations, which Leavitt said Wednesday would be quote unquote temporary. They also said that Trump's vision could entail boots on the ground and nation building. That is how NBC News framed the question. What did Caroline say in response? Quote, I would reject the premise of your question that this forces the United States to be entangled in conflicts abroad. The president has not committed to putting boots on the ground in Gaza. He has also said that the United States is not going to pay for rebuilding of Gaza. She added that the administration will work with the Middle East allies to reconstruct this region. Leavitt also emphasized that while it may be an out-of-the-box idea, the American people elected Trump because he thinks outside the box. Quote, and let me just take a step back here because this is an out-of-the-box idea. That's who President Trump is. That's why the American people elected him. And his goal is lasting peace in the Middle East for all people in the region. She added that the American involvement means the president will use his deal-making prowess to strike a deal with our partners in the region. Responding to a follow-up question, she also noted that the president has spoken to leaders in the region about his expectations that particularly Egypt and Jordan will accept Palestinian refugees temporarily so they can rebuild their homes. Trump has been mulling over the plan for a while, she went on to say, including since seeing images of the, pure rubble that is Gaza right now, from Special Envoy of the Middle East and the visit to the region last month, according to the White House press secretary. So the media wanted you to think this was going to be nation building, that we were going to own this, that we were going to be sending troops, that we were going to be paying your tax dollars to actually do all this. The clear report now is that is not the case, and the media is in fact lying to you. Now, there's also something else that came out of this. Thune came out, Senator Thune, on meeting with Netanyahu saying the Democrats' anti-Israel behavior will not deter the U.S. from supporting Israel. That was the message coming from the Senate Majority Leader, and he will meet with the Israeli Prime Minister tomorrow at the U.S. Capitol. He said this meeting, which he hopes is about America and conveying the importance of this U.S.-Israel ties, and also to deepen the peace talks in the region. Thune, in an interview, said ahead of the meeting that he will convey that to Netanyahu that despite Democrats in Congress, including particularly in the U.S. Senate, repeatedly finding themselves on the opposite side of Israel, and that the United States is not with them. The United States stands firmly with Israel. And that's why Donald Trump was elected. Democrats, of course, recently voted in the U.S. Senate to take a plan to sanction the International Criminal Court, known as the ICC. Israel is the U.S.'s greatest ally in the Middle East, and the Democrats this last year have been very divided in supporting Israel throughout the conflict, is what Thune said to Breitbart News. They seem to find more things like common cause with Hamas and some of these folks in the region that are responsible for the October 7th attack. If you recall this last summer, the last time Prime Minister Netanyahu was in the Capitol, there were a lot of Democrats, including the Vice President Harry, who boycotted his appearance. This time, the Prime Minister's visit follows the Democrats' vote last week to prop an illegitimate court, the ICC, up because Democrats didn't want to defend Israel's sovereignty or American troops who have been targeted by the ICC in the past. So if and when they decide that they want to take real action to protect our allies and prevent future targeting of American citizens, we're here for that, they went on to say. But until then, we're going to continue to do everything we can without Democrats to defend our allies and also our nation. I think tomorrow that will be revisited in the meeting with the Prime Minister. Now, President Trump, back in the White House, has made it clear that there are a lot of Middle Eastern leaders from across the region that are hopeful there is a pathway to peace. Donald Trump has said he wants there to be peace. Donald Trump, as we saw it in his first term, through things like the Abraham Accords. This is an individual that doesn't like war. This is the guy who says, I'm also fighting very hard to end the war between Ukraine and Russia. And so when you look at what the president is actually trying to do, I think it's pretty darn clear. There's also something else that was said in this interview. And Thune put it this way. He said, quote, of course, Abraham Accords negotiated by President Trump in his first term were historic in terms of some of the relationships they built out in the region of the world. I think my focus in this visit is in being a reliable, unwavering partner to and a friend of Israel, something that they did not have clearly in the last administration. He went on to say, we want to talk about getting all the hostages home and how we support Israel as it works to end once and for all the threats from Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. He went on to say that Iran and its shadow of terror government in the region is another problem. And we got to make sure they can't expand. We got to make sure we expand on the historic success of the Abraham Accords to try to create a safer and more prosperous future in that region. So he said this is what they're going to be talking about. Now, to be clear, there's a lot of senators on Thursday that are going to be meeting with Netanyahu. Many of them are also going to have, well, not many, a few that I know personally, are going to be even having one-on-one meetings with Netanyahu. And this is, I think, a very big turning point in America's foreign policy. What we're going to see here and what we're witnessing is when you let Israel hang out to dry the way that the last administration did for 4 years. And then you see what happened on October the 7th. And then you see the Democratic Party still not backing Israel, our most important ally in the region. There is going to have to be something that changes moving forward. There is going to be something that has to change for them to know that, look, A, we trust America again. B, we know you stand with us and not against us, which is what the last administration was doing. And so this is, I think, a clear message to the world from this Trump administration. Do not screw with our ally because we have their back. We are not going to let them be out there by themselves. The last administration did that. We're not. So you mess with Israel, you're messing with America. I think that's part of the messaging we're seeing here. And it's an important one. The second one is we absolutely want there to be peace in the Middle East, and we're going to work for that. We know there's going to need to be rebuilding, and we're going to help broker those deals. Is America going to pay the whole bill or part of the bill or a large part of the bill? Probably not. But we're willing to sit down and say for others in the region, like, you need to step up. This is your next door neighbor. This is this is an area that you need to be rebuilt. And unfortunately, the terrorists did this to themselves. And many of the people that supported the terrorists did this to themselves. They lost their homes because they stood with the terrorists. And that is also a reality of the situation. But these meetings and standing there with Netanyahu and the way that the president talked with them in the joint press conference and talking about a hope in the future where there's peace, that's something everybody should be excited about. Like, everyone should be fired up for that. They should be excited. I also think Netanyahu coming here so quickly and being the first foreign leader to sit down in this way with Donald Trump was no accident. Donald Trump and Netanyahu knew this needed to be the first one. It needed to be a clear change in America's foreign policy, a clear new warning to the rest of the world. And also, I think it's a very clear message to the anti-Semitic individuals in Congress that your time being in the majority is over. Now shut up and sit down at the back of the room. Now, I don't think they're going to do that, okay? I think they're going to still be anti-Semitic as they've always been. I think the squad's going to be anti-Semitic as they've always been. They'll probably get louder. And I think you're going to have a lot of protesters on college campuses that are going to stand with the terrorists and stand against Americans and against Israel. That's going to happen. But there may be real consequences for those actions now. There wasn't before, but there's probably going to be real consequences moving forward. All right, coming up, one of the biggest scandals in the news media history we've got to cover. And that is that Politico, the AP, and other news outlets have been getting paid by our federal government, subsidizing their operations. And one of them we've been doing for far too long is NPR. Should NPR be on its own? My answer is yes. I'll explain why. Coming up next, the Mark Levin Show. Don't forget, follow me on X at Ben Ferguson Show. Grab my podcast. I love to keep up with you every day, the Ben Ferguson Podcast. And if you love Donald Trump and you're a big MAGA supporter, grab my new short podcast I do every morning called the 47 Morning Update. It's 10 to 12 minutes of the biggest stories coming out of the White House, the Oval Office every day. Grab it during the break. Hit that subscribe button. The Ben Ferguson Show and the 47 Morning Update. We'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then the all-new Nissan Murano. And you feel the breeze from the panoramic.
No, I haven't croaked yet. Keep dreaming. I almost scorched my eyes. I'm pretty sure I seen Tiffany with a wrench in Tom Flash's chat. Why does Tiffany have a wrench in Tom Flash's chat? Yo, Wiggin, you should just keep my name out of your mouth. Every time I see Logical use my mother's picture, it's just gonna, I'm gonna clone you and your fucking passed around girlfriend. I've been lazy tonight. I put out a way better show than Tom Flash. He's sitting there with all his bullshit. Got the fucking whatever the fucking beast is hanging on behind him with the fucking ditzy lights and shit. He is a spastic motherfucker. He's an acid head. Said he painted a whole house by himself. Yeah, right. The fucker ain't never had gainful employment his whole life. I doubt that fucker ever held a job longer than 6 months. You are a coward, Tom Flash. Because when you got with Rusty at first, you were fucking trolling us all. Wiggin, me. Yeah, I seen the fucking shit you did. And then I didn't really see everything you did over at Shannon's chat, but that's the first place I seen you. You're up on her fucking panel all the time. Tommy Flash. Tom, whatever you put your name, I fucking forget it. Greasy looking fucker. You were right in love with her at first. You thought it was the fucking greatest thing you fucking ever did in your whole life. You're the real coward, Wiggin. You keep using my name. Yeah, that was me in your chat. I cloned that fucker. First, I thought about putting the name Spastic to it, but, Special Ed does fit him better. He is fucking special. Another devil worshiper. Dude. Drop another hit of acid there, boy. You guys are lucky I'm pastel colorblind. Not good at the colors like some of you are because of my eyesight. But then there's an advantage to it. I'm able to see the black and white. My hearing compensates. I have really good hearing.
Believe in faith, family, and freedom. Members gain access to incredible member benefits and
Well, you got to reference me, Wiggin. Heck, you're the one who made me. All right, you've been fucking running around you didn't go live until after JC. You act like you've been fucking king out here for fucking 30 years. And then there comes Charlie into your chat.
Enroll in a 5-year AMAC membership for 47% off. Normally it's $60. Join today. It's $32. amac.us/LEVIN. That's amac.us/Levin. Join today. Take advantage of the special offer. That's amac.us/Levin. Join AMAC and become part of a movement that stands for you, your family, and your future.
Wiggin, you haven't hurt me at all. You ain't done shit. You think I want the likes of Tiffany and all them other dumb fucks in here? The fuck they're gonna talk about with me? Tiffany. Look at her. 40 years old, and all of a sudden she starts living a healthy lifestyle. She was a smoker. You're an idiot, Tiffany. You really are. You guys are nothing but a bunch of opportunists.
They clearly have been writing stories.
Nem doesn't dare leave JC's chat. Why'd you come on over and visit me there, Nem? Oh, you're too good, aren't you?
To Politico's employees.
Come here and talk politics.
And Politico's management blamed
Trudeau says, yes, sir, Mr. President. I'll do as you say. You're right.
government gravy train.
Damn Yankee.
Cash coming in. Now, I want to read for you what the email apparently says.
Hope you're listening, Wiggin.
Dear team, Billy and I want to address this morning's payroll issues directly due to what we believe was a technical error. Employees did not receive their paychecks as scheduled. We understand the urgency of this matter and sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. Yeah, not getting paid? Yeah, it's an inconvenience, that's for sure. Our team is working diligently with our systems vendors and the bank to identify the root cause.
Cobby, I got a feeling you're Clarkson.
Possible. We will keep you updated as we learn more and work to resolve the problem as quick as possible. Thank you for your patience and understanding. If you have any immediate concerns, please feel free to reach out directly. Now, that's what they said.
You and Sardu and Rocky Goldman, you fucking trolls.
But here's what I do know. Politico, which is a, quote, legitimate news company, quote unquote, a news company. They're not a nonprofit. They're not an NGO. They're not a government agency, which has spent the last decade destroying Donald Trump, the MAGA movement, anybody associated.
That's where a lot of you fuckers get your shit from, is Politico.
Saying that the insurrections around, January 6th are the worst people in the world, right? Like all those.
Politico is what they warned about back in the 80s. Anybody get online and post whatever.
Funded.
It's like the National Enquirer.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk said we're stopping that funding. The question now is, will Politico go out of business because of the amount of money we've been giving them? Now, the total award amount that we're talking about here, and you look at 2024, if I'm reading this correctly on the usspending.gov.
In other words, they violated antitrust laws.
At least $8.2 million of your tax dollars
yep.
Politico in the form of 237 transactions. Now, below that, there's another category if you go to usspending.gov. Face value of loans, $0 from 0 transactions. So these are not loans. This is just straight up money that is going to subsidize Politico, $8.2 million of your tax dollars that went to them. I think we can all agree
it's a lot of money.
That your tax dollars should not be going to Politico. Now, let's go back to one of the 4 headlines in Politico that you need to know about to put in perspective what you've been paying for, like the journalism you've been subsidizing. The federal money started pouring into Politico, and it actually increased exponentially after they successfully laundered the deep state CIA election rigging propaganda against Donald Trump. The headline that I want to bring up to prove this is their national security headline that Politico ran. This is what they said, okay? And again, the amount of the federal funds that began pouring into Politico increased exponentially after this story. You ready for it? Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo. Dozens of former intel officials say. This is under national security Politico. Then their byline below that reads this way. More than 50 former intelligence officials signed a letter casting doubt on this New York Post story on the former vice president's son. Paraphrasing. So you got
Hunter's laptop.
A article that is a lie.
Where are you there, Mohammed?
It's a lie that they were willing to
Moham head.
On behalf of the Democratic Party and the former 50 former intelligence officials who, by the way, have lost their security clearance, and we know they lied to us. And they were willing to tell you the Hunter Biden story was Russian disinfo, and it wasn't real. And then after they write that article, The federal government through USAID is like, oh, hey, Politico, we'd love to send you a bunch of money, like millions of dollars. You guys are doing great work. We want to keep the money flowing in. This is maybe the biggest scandal about the corrupt media that I've ever seen. The only thing worse than political interference is government taxpayer-funded election interference. That is what was paid for to Politico. It was government taxpayer-funded election interference. There was a real story. They knew it was a real story. Politico wrote a story telling you it's not real. It's Russian disinfo. 50 intelligence officers. They just went with it. You know, government saying this is what we need you to write. They're like, we got it. We'll do it. And then the government said, here's your payoff, $8.2 million. Politico then spent years after that attacking conservatives, the MAGA movement, and the money kept going up. So the more they attacked conservatives and the MAGA movement, the more money they were given from the government. There's also something else that was interesting. Politico apparently received, and a lot of this is coming from the website, so I'm just giving it to you. They received $862,000 in change from the National Park Service in a no-compete subscription contract over 4 years. You want to know why Democrats are so anxious over Doge? Because they were buying the press to attack us. Ben Ferguson filling in. We'll be right back.
Traffic's heavy.
The following heartwarming
Wow.
informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together. And when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you.
I'm taking off.
State-specific.
Time to go. I'm going to bed soon. Anybody want to come up and say anything before I leave? Okay, I am. I'm going to bed. Been a long day for me. I'll probably be up about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Pretty much my hours. You're welcome to come up, Empress, if you're lonely. Chinchilla. my husband owns a restaurant.
By the Electronic Payments Coalition.
There was something I was remembering. Now I forgot. What the hell? It had something to do with Wiggin. He was listening to Tom Flash's stream.
It's all your choice. So what do you choose? As we make choices about the future, the military can be a resource for information to help bring its fulfillment path into focus. A public service message from the Department of Defense. For learning more, visit todaymilitary.com.
Sean Ryan.
Good night, everybody. I'll be back when I'll be back. I'll see you on the flip side.